Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm sharing my second part in my Sephora sale recommendations video. So I wanted to do a separate video on hair and skin and brushes this time, just instead of including everything with the makeup. That's just a lot all in one video. The makeup video was very long, as you saw. So I wanted to switch things up and do this video separately this time. So we're gonna do hair, skin, and I do have one fragrance to share. Just a few things that I also love from Sephora that are not makeup products. So let's get into it. Before we do, if you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on my channel. I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. Make sure to watch part 1 if you haven't seen the makeup part yet. Make sure to watch that, and let's get into part 2. All right, let's start with makeup brushes. I wanted to include those in this video as well. I do, as a lot of you know, love BK Beauty brushes. I primarily use their brushes in my videos and just daily, those are my favorites. However, there are a few select brushes from Sephora that I use all the time that I want to mention while they're on sale. Let's start with Sephora Collection. So Sephora Collection brushes and Sephora Collection in general is 30% off during the sale, which is pretty good on especially the makeup. The Sephora Collection makeup is pretty affordable anyway, so 30% off is really good. But I want to share 2 brushes that I use all the time. You've probably seen me use them in content. I reach for these 2 constantly. The first one is the number 79 brush. So this is the Pro Contour brush. I do not use this for contour. I use this for setting my face, primarily the center of my face. So right here on the side of my nose, kind of on the cheek here, the forehead, the chin. That's what I love this for. I personally like a smaller powder brush for myself just because I like more control. Sometimes if you use a really large powder brush, I don't know, I just find that powder kind of gets everywhere, and I like to really precisely apply my setting powder just to make sure I'm not powdering areas that I don't want to. So that's what I use this for. You could obviously use this for contour since that's what it was intended for, but I think this is a really great size for setting the center of your face. If you're like me and you don't want something that's too big, I use this all the time. One of my most used daily brushes. And then the other one that I love so much is the 98 brush. So this is the Pro Highlighter brush. Now, I do not use this for highlighter. You can see it has really long bristles, kind of like a rounded edge. Pretty fluffy, but it has a little bit of density to it. What I like to use this for is setting the under eyes, because this brush, first of all, it fits perfectly under the eye, but because it's not incredibly dense, it's a little bit fluffy, but there's still a little bit of density. I find that I don't over apply powder under my eyes when I use this brush. I think I learned about this brush from Tanya Wells. I think I saw her using this under her eyes a long time ago in one of her videos, and I picked it up, and it is perfect. If you're wanting a light veil of powder under the eyes, you don't want to use something too dense, this is a great option. Of course, you could also use it for highlighter. It's a perfect shape for that, but I personally love it for setting the under eyes. So those are 2 Sephora Collection brushes that I love. I will say their brushes are extremely high quality, so 30% off is great. I highly recommend the brushes if there's one that you like or one that piques your interest. These are fantastic makeup brushes. While we're on Sephora Collection, there's one more thing I want to mention. Now, I do not use a powder puff regularly. I kind of go through phases where I do or don't. On a daily basis, I don't use one, but when I do, my favorite powder puff is the Sephora Collection one. I've tried them all. I've tried the Makeup by Mario, I've tried the Rare Beauty, I've tried the Amazon puffs. These are my absolute favorite because of the shape. So they're pretty pointy on the end. So that's really good for getting under the eyes, on the side of the nose, any small area. This point here really helps you get more close to those areas to set. So I love that about these, and they also wash really well. They don't fall apart. I just find of all the puffs I've tried, this one's definitely my favorite. So if you like puffs and you need new ones, the Sephora collection ones are great. Now, a few other brushes that I love. Of course, the Makeup by Mario F4 brush. I know I've mentioned this in a bunch of Sephora videos in the past, but this is such a great brush for so many things. I regularly use mine. This is the larger end, so it's basically the same brush, just a larger end and a smaller end, but they're angled, pretty dense brushes. So I like the larger end for foundation, but you can also use it for cream bronzer, liquid blush, liquid bronzer, whatever you want. But I typically use the larger end for foundation or even just diffusing everything. If I do my whole face and I want to make sure my blush and my bronzer are really diffused into my foundation, I'll take this and just kind of go over everything, and it just kind of melts everything together. And then I mainly use the smaller end for cream bronzer and cream blush, but you could use this for concealer. You could use it for setting the under eyes or even the center of the face if you want to get more powder pickup. Something dense like this really helps you do that. This is just a great multi-purpose brush, and it's convenient if you just want to have very minimal brushes. This is a great one because you can knock out a lot of steps of your makeup with this one brush. And another brush. Okay, now this is a newer one to me, but I wanted to mention it because I've been using it quite a bit. This is the new Patrick Ta concealer brush. So you have a dense end. So this end is really dense. So this is going to be great for really getting the most coverage out of a concealer. So you're really going to use this to press product into the skin. This is not going to give you a sheer application or a light application. This is going to give you the most coverage you can get in terms of brush. I like to use this end for corrector or concealer, especially in this inner part of the eye where I typically want the most coverage. That's what I'll use this for. But then you also have this fluffy end on the other side, which you can use for a few things. You can kind of diffuse your concealer out with this if you want. So I think the way I've seen Patrick Ta use it is pressing the concealer in with the dense side and then kind of perfecting it with the fluffy side. You could also use this for setting powder though. You could even use this on the eyes if you wanted. Really good, nice, high quality brush if you're in the market for one. I've really been liking this one. And then the final brush. This brush I have talked about many times now, but I'm going to mention it again. And this is my favorite blush brush, powder blush brush. I can't live without the Ciele Flush brush. I absolutely love this. I don't have another brush that looks like this, and I have tons of brushes. I don't know how many I have, but I have way too many. This is the one I consistently reach for powder blush because it has really long bristles. It's angled, so it fits perfectly on the cheek, but because the bristles are so long and it's pretty fluffy, you always get a soft blush application, which is what I want with a powder blush. I don't ever want to go in with a lot of product and then it can kind of stick in certain areas and then you have to try to blend it out. Not with this brush. This brush applies blush perfectly every time. Every time. You cannot overdo it with this. I'm just taking a little bit of blush that I have sitting here, but I'm telling you, if you like a really soft, kind of diffused blush application, this is the brush for that. I will be buying a backup of this because I can't live without it and I only have one. All right, let's move into skincare. So not all of my skincare comes from Sephora. As y'all know, I use quite a bit of Korean skincare. However, Sephora and Ulta too, but Sephora has really brought in a bunch of Korean brands, I would say, in the last year, which I'm so glad about. I hope they continue to bring in more and more Korean skincare brands because Korean skincare is phenomenal. But let's start with my favorite SPFs. These won't be a shock if you watch my videos, but of course, Beauty of Joseon Day Dew. I actually just used this up earlier today. I will probably buy another one of these, although I think I have a bunch other SPFs I need to use. I'm always getting new ones to try out, but I loved this one specifically because it's SPF 50. But this one is very lightweight. It's very light, lotiony texture, and it's not too dewy or too matte. It was more of a satin, natural finish. You definitely had a little bit of a glow on the skin after using this, but not anything crazy. So I found that I could really use this with any makeup that I wanted to pair on top. I also think this would work for all skin types because it's not, you know, overly dewy or matte. Kind of just falls in that sweet spot. It's very affordable, so if you can get it on a sale, that's even better. I thoroughly enjoyed this and I would highly recommend it. I will probably repurchase this at some point. Now, the other SPF that I love is the Kiehl's Better Screen UV Serum. This is SPF 50 with collagen peptides. Okay. This is another phenomenal sunscreen. I should also mention this is a chemical SPF. This is also a chemical SPF. Typically under makeup, I just find that they work the best, and I don't have too many mineral SPFs that I love. I do have one from Sephora that I'll talk about in a minute, but I love this, but really more for normal to dry skin. This is extremely hydrating and leaves quite a bit of glow on the skin. So I do find when I use this, it does make whatever base product I use look a lot glowier, even if it's not a super glowy product. So that's the only thing. It definitely adds a lot of hydration to the skin. So if you are oily, I don't think you would love this SPF. I don't think it would be best for oily skin types personally. Definitely though, if you have dry skin and you need a new SPF, this one is phenomenal. It does work really well under makeup. There's no white cast. It's a really nice product. I just don't think it would work for every single skin type, but I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Overall though, I think the Beauty of Joseon would work for more people and more skin types, in my opinion, but I love both. Now, in terms of a mineral SPF from Sephora, really the only one I've tried that I love for under makeup, I guess there's two. The Summer Fridays Mineral Milk. So that one is kind of similar to the Beauty of Joseon. I think that one is more liquidy. That one's a little bit thinner, and it also has like a tiny bit of a tint to it, but on the face it really doesn't look like anything. That one I really like for underneath makeup. I believe that one is SPF 30. I've used one of those up in the past and I did enjoy that, so I would recommend that one. And then if you want a mineral SPF with a tint, I do really like this one from Ultraviolette. This is the Future Screen. It's SPF 50, but it does have a tint, which sometimes I don't want a tint under makeup. It just kind of depends on the day, unless I'm doing like really light makeup. I don't love a tinted SPF. It does have a little bit of color to it, so just keep that in mind, but that one does work well under makeup. It's a little bit on the thicker side, but once you really work it into the skin, it is more of a natural finish, and you can layer makeup on top. I just don't always love a tinted SPF day to day. But those are kind of the ones that I love, that I've tried and I know work well with makeup from Sephora. Some more skincare that I love. I've talked about this several times as well. I'm actually almost out of it. I don't know if you can tell. I'm like squeezing the very last bit of this, but this is from Paula's Choice, and this is the Azelaic Acid Booster. So this has licorice root in it, which I've talked about a bunch of times. Licorice root works great for me. It's very brightening on the skin, and it's also very soothing on the skin if you have, you know, sensitive skin, redness, any type of irritation. Typically licorice root is really good for that. It does also have salicylic acid in it. There's very little, but there is a little bit of salicylic acid in here. So it does exfoliate the skin. And then of course it has 10% azelaic acid, which azelaic acid is something that I didn't use until I had my son, and then I started using this. I don't remember who introduced me to this, but I picked it up from Sephora, and this is great for really any type of discoloration in the skin. So I had melasma during pregnancy, and I've gotten rid of pretty much all of the melasma at this point. And I really credit it to this product because I started using this pretty quickly after I had my son, and I really focused it like right here because this is where I had majority of the melasma. And I noticed my skin just looked better after I started using this. It looked brighter, more clear. I don't know. I think azelaic acid just works great for my skin. It's supposed to be good for redness as well. This is just a great product. I don't use it every night. I use it, I would say, like 2 times a week. So if you have similar concerns, similar skin type, and you have not tried an azelaic acid, this one from Paula's Choice is great. All right, what else? Oh, okay, here's another product. I know I've talked about this before too, but I have to put this in here. Okay, if you want the most hydrating, like plump, dewy, glowy skin, and you want to buy something from Sephora, this stuff from Experiment, this is the Super Saturated Hydrating Barrier Serum. I have talked about this a few times, but this stuff, let me just show you what this stuff looks like. This is thick, so don't let it scare you, but it is a thicker serum. It's kind of like the snail mucin that's really popular. This is very similar, but this one has polyglutamic acid in it, which is great for hydrating the skin. But I'm telling you, if you want to look glowy, juicy, dewy, all the things, and you have, especially if you have dry skin and you need like one good serum that you want to buy from Sephora, this stuff is great. There is no fragrance in it. It's phenomenal, I'm telling you. Under makeup, it works well, but it's also great at night if you really like want to overhydrate the skin at night. That's what I typically do. I apply lots of hydrating skincare before I go to bed. And this is typically one of the things I apply. Oh, one other thing I want to mention about this that's really cool is this one is refillable. So if you buy the like full size to start out with, if you end up loving it, you can just buy the refill for these. Now, let's move into some moisturizers. So again, I kind of switch these up. I have a whole rotation of moisturizers that I love, and it just kind of depends on the night. I'm loving the Mimua one that I told you guys about, still using that, but I also use one of these that I want to share with you. It depends on the day. This, I know you've probably seen this. This was kind of going around social media probably like 6 months ago or so, but this is from In Beauty Project, and it's the Extreme Cream. Again, extremely nourishing and hydrating on the skin, but I will say this one is not so thick that I don't think you could use it under makeup. It's a really nice consistency, but it's definitely not like the thickest thing I've ever tried, but it has some heft to the formula. But I typically use it at nighttime, but I know some people that have dry skin that use this under makeup and they love it. But this is such a nice cream. It's more than a moisturizer, I would say. It's definitely more of a cream texture, but great. It has, I think this is the one that has bioretinol in it. Yeah, bioretinol, which is an alternative to regular retinol if you have sensitivity to that, but it just has tons of good things. Peptides, ceramides, lots of hydration, lots of support for the skin barrier in here. This is, let's see, 1.7 ounces, and I will say these actually last a really long time because you don't need a lot of this. It really spreads. You can also buy refills for this as well. Also, they do make the Extreme Cream gel now. It's in a blue bottle. I have not personally tried the gel, but I know that one is great if you have oilier skin. This one is probably best for normal dry. All right, one final skincare product that I am personally going to be buying the full size because I bought a mini a few months ago and I was hoping I would not love this product, but unfortunately I do, and I will be buying the full size, but it's from Tatcha. This is the Dewy Milk Moisturizer. Now, I've always loved the Dewy Skin Cream that comes in the jar. Still love that one. That one is much, much thicker. This is like that, like it gives the same look, that really juicy, glowy look on the skin, plump, all those things. But it's a thinner texture. So if you have oilier skin, again, this would be great. If you want to hydrate, but you don't want that thick cream, this kind of gives you a lighter version of the Dewy Skin Cream. But I love this during the day before I do SPF as like my daytime moisturizer. And I was hoping that I would not I don't really want to waste it. I have a little bit more in here, I think, but I'll pump a little bit out so you can see. So it's just a lot lighter than the Dewy cream from Tatcha, but it gives you some glow, some hydration, great makeup prep product. And like I said, I really hoped I wouldn't like it. In fact, I bought the Bioma, what is it called? There's a Bioma moisturizer that is supposed to be very similar to that one. So after I tried this and I loved it, I bought the Bioma one. I've been using it, but yeah, it's not the same. I had such high hopes, but the texture is completely different. It's just a thinner, kind of like milky gel texture. It's not the same. I was hoping it would be, but it's not. There's something about this one that I love. Typically, you know, I don't always spend a ton on moisturizers, but there's something about that one. Every time I've used it, I love it, and I've been waiting for the sale to buy the full size. So I will be purchasing that myself. All right, I have one fragrance to mention. Sometimes people ask me about fragrance, and I'm not a big fragrance person. I like it, I wear fragrance, but I don't like regularly try new ones. I kind of find ones that I like, and I just stick with those. But I have a few that you can't buy at Sephora, but the one that I still love, I wanted to mention, is My Way from Armani. I think I got a sample of this in like an Ulta catalog, and my husband smelled it and he said that he loved it. So I went and smelled it when I was in store, and I actually loved it too. So that's why I ended up picking this up, but it smells really good. I am not good at describing fragrances, so let me just pull it up so I can read you the notes, because that is not my strength. I am not good at describing fragrance at all. So this is the Armani Beauty My Way Vanilla and Orange Blossom and Tuberose is what the name says on Sephora. It's a floral. Orange blossom, tuberose, and vanilla are the key notes. It says it is a blend of woody and floral notes, which makes perfect sense because I like woody scents. I like floral scents, so that makes sense why I would love this, because it's kind of a mix of both. But this is one of those on me, when I spray it, I feel like I can kind of smell it all day long, and I feel like I can continue to smell it. Like if I rewear this denim shirt and I use this perfume today, I will continue to smell it. It definitely lasts really well on me. If you like woody, floral scents and you're looking for a new one, maybe look into this one. All right, let's talk about hair stuff. I get so many questions about hair regularly. I get asked all kinds of things: how I get my curls, what color I have in my hair, what products I use. I get this question all the time. So I'm gonna share the things that I use regularly that you can get at Sephora, starting with how I get my curls. So I have two different tools that I use, one or the other. I either use the Dreamy Air Wrap, the one that I did a video with them a few months ago. You can either do a blowout with that, or it has the curl attachments. That's if I have a lot of time to do my hair and I wash and I do my hair all in one day. Most of the time right now, what I do is I wash my hair at night, I let it air dry, and then the next day I curl it with this. I probably had this at least 3 years, maybe more than that, but this is the GHD Soft Curl Curling Iron. It's a 1.25 inch barrel, and this is how I get those loose waves. I think I have a little video that I'll pop up here on the screen of me using it, but I curl my whole head with this, and I just kind of let those waves wear in my hair until it's time to wash my hair again. And then when I get to like that last day, I'll do a bun like I have today, and then I wash my hair and I start over again. I just find right now that's the easiest thing for me, is washing at night, letting it air dry, and then using this the next day and just kind of leaving it alone until I wash again. That's kind of my routine, but I love this from GHD. I've had it for a few years. It's still going strong. This is how I get those waves if you are one of the people that's asking. All right, in terms of products that I use, so I use a mix of more expensive hair care, and then I also use some affordable hair care too. It just kind of depends on what I'm going for. One of the things that I love that I use all the time is this. Yes, this is very expensive, but it is 100% worth it. This is the Orbe Gold Lust Hair Oil. So another comment I've gotten a lot, especially on Instagram and TikTok lately, is why does your hair look shiny? I don't have naturally shiny hair. I have very coarse hair, very frizzy hair naturally. So I have to work really hard to get it to look the way that it does in my content. Every time I apply heat to my hair at the end, I use this oil. And I swear it makes a difference. It makes my hair shinier. It makes it just feel softer, more hydrated, not brittle and dry. And like I said, I don't naturally have silky smooth hair, but I credit how my hair looks most of the time to this oil. I do this religiously. I take 1 to 2 pumps and put it from like mid shaft all the way to the end. And I swear it works great. This stuff is so concentrated that you don't need much. So one of these will last you forever. So yes, it is expensive, but this is not something you're gonna have to repurchase all the time. And I personally think it's worth it. I use this all the time. It also smells incredible. While we're on Orbe, I do love Orbe for the scent. I'm not gonna lie. I've also used the Gold Lust shampoo and conditioner in the past. I love those as well, but another product that I swear by that really makes a difference in my hair is the Supershine Cream from Orbe. Now, if you have a thinner hair type, this will be too rich for you. This is for somebody that has pretty thick hair. My hair can take a lot of product because I have a lot of it. Ironically, right now I have less than I typically do. I've lost probably 30% of my hair since having my son. So believe it or not, this is my hair at its thinnest because I've lost a lot. So I'm working on my hair currently. But when my hair is really thick, like it always has been, this stuff I've bought several times. It's basically just a very nourishing, thick leave-in conditioner. But like I said, if you have fine hair or if your hair tends to get greasy really fast, I would not buy this. This will be way too rich for you, but if you have dry hair, you have a lot of it. This is a phenomenal leave-in conditioner and it smells incredible. If you've never smelled Orbe hair products, if you're near a Sephora that has Orbe, please go in there and smell them. I don't know what it is. I would love to know what that fragrance is because I love it. I love it. In fact, I have an Orbe perfume. I don't think you can get that at Sephora, but I do have one. That's how much I love the scent. 2 of my other favorite hair products from Sephora are from Crown Affair. Crown Affair is another brand that I love so much. I want to try some more of their products. I actually want to get their hair towel during the sale. But the dry shampoo from Crown Affair, so good. Such a nice, clean smell. It's not anything too overpowering. And this stuff is great. It's one of the best dry shampoos I've used. And I haven't always been a dry shampoo person until becoming a mom. And now the reality is sometimes you gotta throw in some dry shampoo and just move on with your day. And that is why I've been using this more than I did before. But this comes with a little brush, which to be totally honest, I wish they would put this in another component just because it's messy. It does kind of get everywhere, so that's the only thing, but it does have let me show you. So this little thing in the middle twists and it closes it off. So at least you can close the sifter so you don't get too much product in the component here, but that's the only thing is it kind of does get everywhere when you use it, but it works so well that I just kind of put up with it. But one of the best dry shampoos, truly. Doesn't leave that weird like white look in your hair if you have dark hair like me. It's great. I always think my hair looks 1,000 times better when I use this. And then my newest product from Crown Affair, I actually picked this up during the last Sephora sale. This is the leave-in conditioner. Now, if you have finer hair, more greasy hair, this is much more lightweight than the Supershine Cream. So I would recommend this if you have thinner hair, more fine hair, oilier hair. This won't weigh your hair down and it's not too rich like the Supershine. This is a very thin, lightweight leave-in conditioner. Honestly, I think all hair types could use this, but when I use this, what I notice is my hair kind of air dries a little bit better, even though I do not, like I said, I don't have shiny, silky, smooth hair. Especially not when I air dry it. It's very wavy, very frizzy. So anything that kind of helps it look a little bit better when I air dry, I'm all about it. This definitely does that, and you get a ton of product here. It is expensive, but again, you're not going to go through this super quick. This is 5.1 fluid ounces, and I've used this consistently since the last sale, and I barely use any, I feel like. So definitely going to last you a long time. Also smells incredible, so highly recommend this from Crown Affair, but they have other products too that I really want to try. I want the hair towel, like I said. They also have a hair perfume that I kind of want to get because these do also smell incredible. Let me know if you've tried anything else from Crown Affair because I really want to try some more of their stuff. And finally, 2 more hair products. Again, 2 things I picked up during the last Sephora sale and highly recommend them. They're both from the brand MEJ. So I bought this hairbrush. This is called the Flat Brush. I almost didn't buy this because of the price. It's a more expensive hairbrush. I think it's like $52 maybe. But it got great reviews, and I've heard great things about MEJ over the years. So I picked it up, and this brush is so phenomenal. I'm so glad I bought it. It's a mix of, mine has hair in it, so please excuse that, but it's a mix of nylon and boar bristles. But what I noticed with this brushes through my hair, but it doesn't feel like it's tugging it or pulling at it. Like I said, I've lost so much of my hair since having my son. I'm trying to avoid losing more of it. I don't feel like this is pulling my hair out completely when I brush through it, but it does a really good job of detangling, and I also think my hair looks a little bit shinier when I use this. I don't know if it's this, maybe it's the hair oil, maybe it's a combination of the two, I don't know. But I love this hairbrush. I mainly bought it honestly because it's pretty, but I've loved it. Highly recommend if you're in the market for a new brush. I think it also comes in blue, and I think there are other brush styles as well. I bought that one because it's just a good like medium size. And then one more thing from MEJ, the hair clips. If you buy one of these, I can promise you, you won't need to buy another hair clip. These are the strongest hair clips I have ever tried. The quality is so good. They're not brittle. They don't feel like they'll just fall right out of your hair, especially if you have a lot of hair. If you have thicker hair, a lot of claw clips won't hold my hair. This one actually will. I think this is called like the big effing clip or something. I will link it below. This is the brown one, but they come in tons of different colors. But the quality on MEJ products is top notch. I am so impressed. Highly recommend, especially during the Sephora sale. All right, those are all of my other Sephora sale recommendations. I hope this was helpful or enjoyable for you. If you haven't seen part 1, make sure to go watch that. After you watch this one, I will link it above for you and in the description box. If you want to see all my makeup recommendations, go check that out. It's a long one, so buckle up for that one. But I love these videos. They're so much fun. I look forward to filming the Sephora sale videos every single year. It's just fun. If you love makeup, you love beauty, part of the fun of the Sephora sale is because you can get all these things in one place, and I don't know, that's just fun. I know that you can get stuff from brands' websites. Sometimes you can get a greater discount there, but it's just fun to get everything all in one place at a discount, you know? So everything I talked about will be linked in the description box and in YouTube shopping for you. If you do shop through my links, I do make a commission that supports my channel, and it really helps me out. So thank you so much for doing that. And if you're new, I hope you'll subscribe, stick around. Make sure to watch part 1, and make sure to follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. And I will see you again very soon. Remember, simply be you.